Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I will be building this anti-tank gun Pak40 L46 by Tamiya in 1/35th scale. So I'm building a Tamiya kit on the channel, and as you know, Tamiya kits are known for their perfect fits and good molds and also good plastic quality, which is all present in this kit. Now I did do a small mistake on this kit, and the gun shield is a bit sideways at a couple of degrees, which is unfortunate, but it's not really visible on the finished product. So now let's take a look at the sprues. It comes with 3 sprues, one with some figures and a ammo crate. The ammo crate you will see at the end of the video, but I actually did not build or paint the figures because I don't think I'm skilled enough to do that. Now one of the sprues are for the gun itself and the gun shield, and the other are for the tracked part and every single other piece, because there's not that many pieces in this kit. I think there's about 50 pieces or something like that, but it was a very quick build. Starting with the gun, which is a 7.5cm KVK-40, which was also used on Panzer IV tanks during the Second World War. And the building process is quite simple, but there was a pretty seeable seam on the gun, on both the top and the bottom of the barrel, so I had to sand that down. But you will not see the sanding process here, only the final results of the sanding process here, which I believe you can see that there is no seam right there on the plant barrel, which is very nice. Also, the fit might seem like it's a bit sloppy, but it actually goes together perfectly, and you don't need to worry about those very small gaps since they all look very nice. Now this piece goes under there, and that was a small gap which I had to fill, and I think it's because of his user error, so I don't think the kit actually made any mistake there.
Wenn ich einmal gestorben bin, dann tragt mich hoch hinauf, begrabt ihr mich im Tal herunter, dann steig ich selber rauf und jodle noch aus voller Brust vom Berg ins tiefe Tal, hinaus ins schöne Alpenland zum allerletzten Mal.
Die Gedanken sind frei, wer kann sie erraten? Sie fliehen vorbei, wie nächtliche Schatten. Kein Mensch kann sie wissen, kein Jäger erschießen, es bleibt dabei. Die Gedanken sind frei.
Continuing with the base of the gun, there's not many parts here, as you can see, and now we're actually moving to the actual gun itself, so to say. I don't know what this mechanism is called really, but you know, it's part of the gun, and there are a couple of sub-assemblies that you have to do here and there, and this sub-assembly is quite full of parts, as you can see right here. There are about 5 to 6 parts, very small parts in an even smaller sub-assembly, but it's fine because the engineering is very good in this kit, so all the parts go together seamlessly, and I had no issues whatsoever doing this part, which I was actually stressing about when I actually started the kit and I looked through the instructions.
Drum will ich auf immer den Sorgen absagen und will mich auch nimmer mit Grillen mehr plagen. Man kann ja im Herzen stets lachen und scherzen und denken dabei, die Gedanken sind frei.
Und denken dabei, die Gedanken sind frei. Ich liebe den Wein, mein Mädchen vor allem. Sie tut mir allein am besten gefallen. Ich sitz nicht alleine bei einem Glas Wein, mein Mädchen Mädchen dabei, die Gedanken sind frei, es bleibt dabei, die Gedanken sind frei.
Now I'm actually going to start building the gun shield, which is quite easy to put together. There are only a few parts here on this small sub-assembly and it all goes together flawlessly, although I wish the locator pins were a bit bigger on the actual gun, on the actual secondary part of the gun shield, but it's fine since it only takes a little bit of time to find the actual proper holes for the gun, but yeah, it all works out in the end. Now let's talk about the gun itself a bit. The gun was actually developed in 1939 through 1941 and entered service in 42. About 23,000 examples were produced of the Pak40, and it was quite an effective gun for the German army. Now here are all the sub-assemblies needed for the actual gun, which I'll be putting together right now. So the gun itself goes on top of this thing that supports it and goes under the gun, and it just slides in place with two locator pins. It's actually very fun and very well engineered how Tamiya thought this out. And now I also need to put those other two pieces onto the sides, but I'm also putting some extra glue for more reinforcement, and I'm also pushing the parts down. And because I didn't persist enough during this stage, the actual gun is also tilted downwards a bit, which unfortunately is a small oopsies that I did, but it still looks good. And also it would work good in a diorama where it's in a hill. Moving on to the wheel section of the gun. This is where the wheels are and where those two stabilizers are, and on the back end of the gun. So there's not many parts here, and this assembly is quite easy and fun to do. So I actually had fun doing this part and this section. And as you can see right here, the pieces are very well designed and placed. There's also a small seam right there, which I did not bother cleaning up since it will not be visible anyway, so I did not bother doing that.
Volksmusik ist international. Musik, die geht ins Blut. Sie tut auch unseren Herzen gut. Auf jeden Fall ist Volksmusik international. In unserer Schweiz und Südtirol musiziert wird überall. Auf jeden Fall ist Volksmusik international. In Deutschland oder Österreich, nirgends klingt sie gleich. In der Schweiz wird gejodelt mit Örgeli dazu. Ob Polka oder Walzer, in Moll oder in Dur. In Südtirol erklingen die Lieder wunderschön. Von der Schule sind, dort ist das Herz zu Haus. Auf jeden Fall ist Volksmusik international in unserer Schweiz und Südtirol. Musiziert wird überall, auf jeden Fall ist Volksmusik international. In Deutschland oder Österreich, nirgends klingt sie gleich. In Deutschland musiziert man von Bayern bis nach Kiel. Kannst hören, schöne Standsang bis hin zum Seemannslied. Wird urig flott vorgespielt, ein Juchitzer erschallt. Das ist Musik aus Österreich, die an jeden freut. Wo immer auch Musik erklingt, wo man Lieder singt, dort ist das Herz zu Haus. Auf jeden Fall ist Volksmusik international in unserer Schweiz und Südtirol. Musiziert wird überall, auf jeden Fall ist Volksmusik international. In Deutschland oder Österreich, nirgends klingt sie gleich. Von jedem Land ein kleines Stück dieser guten Volksmusik. Mit Gefühl und viel Gespür öffnet sie jede Tür. Von jedem Land ein kleines Stück dieser guten Volksmusik. Gibt dem ganzen Land den wunderbaren Klang.
Now, starting with the printing process, which is actually filmed in this video. Woohoo! Anyways, I'm starting with a black primer, of course, as per usual with any build that anyone does, actually. I mean, there's people who go with gray primers or with light gray primers, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The point is, I use the black primer on this, and it goes really well with the actual dark gray paint, which is actually German gray by AK 3rd Gen acrylics, which I have been really eager to use, and it works perfectly with airbrush, so it does not lie when it says airbrush ready on the actual bottle of paint. So as you can see, I'm giving everything a nice even coat, although excuse me, the paint was a bit thin in some occasions and very watery. But it all looks good in the end. After we tried the paint, I had no issues. But you can especially see the watery paint right here as I'm spraying it on this small base of the gun. Now that everything is primed and ready, I will actually be putting on the main coat, which is this AK German Grey 3rd generation acrylic colors, and it goes on smoothly. I don't overdo the paint job, and it goes together with the black good, excuse me, and the color is very similar to the black, so it's not really that visible.
Kommt hinten noch ein Jodler drauf, vor ich fast aus der Haut, denn ich steh auf die Volksmusik, weil dir mir gefällt, ja, das ist gewiss, denn ich steh auf die Volksmusik, das eine, das ist gewiss. Kommt hinten noch ein Jodler drauf, vor ich fast aus der Haut, denn ich steh auf die Volksmusik, weil dir mir gefällt, ja, das ist gewiss, denn ich steh auf die Volksmusik, das eine, das ist gewiss. Kennst du die Perle Tirol, das Städtchen Kufstein, das kennst du wohl, umrankt von Bergen, so dicht und still. Ja, das ist Kufstein, die Stadt am grünen Inn. Ja, das ist Kufstein am grünen
Now that everything is done, I can move on to detail painting, which is done using these 3 paints. And there's not much to go around here since the actual gun did not have any picked out details or any other color variations. It was just a bland, simple one-tone camouflage, which was usually the German grey, and for desert conditions it was a 2-tone camouflage sometimes. But I'm doing this to highlight some of the details and to add a bit of visual interest there, since if I don't do this, it will look quite boring.
Bei einem Madel im Bett und einem Flascherl Wein. Ja, bei uns in Tirol und ist der Urlaub ja dann wieder aus. Dann nimmt man Abschied und fährt nach Haus. Man denkt an
Now moving on to the fully painted and also the fully built up gun with the gun shield, and as you can see the detail is still very much there, and the gun shield is, as I said at the beginning of the video, a bit messed up. And I did also paintbrush a gloss coat, which I will never do again because it looks horrendous when brush painted. But yeah, I'll be applying some light weathering and I'll call it a day with the final photos coming up right now. Also, this video is coming out on my birthday, so you could call it a birthday special, so to say. So everyone, wish me a happy birthday. Just kidding. Please enjoy the final images of this tank, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next video. Bye bye.
Auf dem Tanzboden bei der Wirtin zum Stern sind die Burschen jeden Samstag so gern. Weißt du, so fest ist auch die Wäsche blonde Madeln gibt. Drum ist in der ganzen Gegend dort das Tanzen so beliebt. Alles jubelt, alles plättelt und lacht, dass der Tanzboden nur so zittert und kracht. Die Musikanten spielen zünftig und ein bisschen modern auf dem Tanzboden bei der Wirtin zum Stern. Ja, wir sind lustige Leute, weil uns der Tanzboden frei. Rehseige bring nur Mass, aber frisch vom Fass. Auf dem Tanzboden bei der Wirtin zum Stern sind die Burschen jeden Samstag so gern. Weil es da so fesche, sauberische, blonde Madeln gibt. Drum ist in der ganzen Gegend dort das Tanzen so beliebt. Alles jodelt, alles plättelt und lacht, dass der Tanzboden nur so zittert und kracht. Die Musikanten spielen zünftig und ein bisschen modern auf dem Tanzboden bei der Wirtin zum Stern.